Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be continuing our 6-month postpartum update. Today I'm filming outside. It's actually so nice and sunny and warm outside. In the house it was really cold, so I've actually gotten myself a cup of tea and some warm socks, and I'm going to be continuing our little update video. I did have a question box that I popped up onto Instagram, this one, to ask if anybody had any questions regarding postpartum, and I did get a few questions, so I'm just going to be going through those now. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm currently in South Africa, however I'm originally Australian. I have 2 beautiful children, and yeah, I make mom videos, life videos, videos about God. So yes, if you like that kind of content, please do hit that subscribe button if you want to, and the like button. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So the question I said was, do you have any postpartum questions you'd like to know about? Nothing off limits, and you will stay anonymous. Okay, so let's go through the questions. The first one is, best tip to ease the pain and or heal down there. This is a tricky one because I didn't really do anything. If you haven't watched my video about labor and birth, you can watch that after this one if you'd like. I'll put it up here. I ended up having a, okay, wait, disclaimer, this is probably going to be a TMI video, so if you are my family, maybe don't watch this video. I had a vaginal birth with a, what's that thing holding you back? Oh my gosh, I just had like mind blank. An epidural. With an epidural. With my second birth now, with my first birth, I just went completely natural, but this time I had an epidural. I did end up getting a 2nd-degree tear, which was pretty painful, and that felt like it took a really long time to heal. It still actually feels tender now sometimes, and I'm like 6 months postpartum. So the tips, I guess, I didn't really do much, but you can get these like pad things that you put in the freezer, or you can make your own, I think, where you put like witch hazel on, and sometimes I think you can even put like essential oils on. Don't quote me on that one, research that. But and then like you wear that during the day just to like kind of help the healing, which I've heard works, especially with like putting coal down there. The other thing that I did do one thing, was using like a squirty bottle, like when I had to go to the bathroom, and I put warm salt water in it, and I left it next to the bathroom just to like kind of help the healing process, and so I didn't have to like touch anything because it was so sore. And I did that last time too, and I think the salt water just like helps to keep it clean and stuff, so you don't get like any infections and stuff like that. Other than that, I know that you can go to the physio and they can like show you how to like massage the scar tissue, which is supposedly supposed to help, but I didn't do that because I was like way too scared to touch like anything in that area. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of info on that one, other than to just give it time, because yeah, it's pretty sore. The next one is, what has been similar and what has been different about the first 6 months with your kids? So my kids are completely different children, like completely, but I'm not going to be doing that in like this video, and I probably won't ever share that like on them personally. But for me, the first 6 months have been really different in terms of, with my first child, obviously I was a first-time mom, and so I had a lot more anxieties, I think, about things like about sleep especially. But this time around, I feel like I've been a bit more relaxed about things. Like, I know with my first child, I was like really stressed out about sleep. Like if she woke up just 20 minutes before she was supposed to wake up, like I would freak out and I'd get so anxious, and like I wasn't coping well with the whole sleep thing. And this time around, I've kind of like realized that, you know, sleep is something that's learned. We all do it at different times, and like if he doesn't sleep like now, then he'll sleep later. Like I can't, and especially having 2 now, it's a bit different because I don't have the same amount of time and capacity to be able to put him to bed. So often he just has to sleep in the carrier, or he has to nap in the car. And so I think overall this time around I'm way more relaxed, and I kind of just feel a lot more confident in myself and in the things that I want for my kids. I feel like I stand up more for what I want with my children. With our first child, like if someone was holding her and like she was crying and they'd be like, I can calm her down, it's okay, I kind of be like, oh, okay, like give it a try, you know. But this time I'm like, no, like he needs his mum and I'll take him, thank you, like thank you for holding him, but you know, can I have him back now? Because obviously I'm the one who's going to be able to calm him the best, or his dad as well. But you know, if I'm with other people, then I'm not scared now to speak my mind and say like, listen, I need my child back now. If I can see that he's uncomfortable or he doesn't want to do a certain thing, I won't be like, okay, like just keep trying, like I take him back. So I think I'm a lot more confident this time in the things that I want, the things that I do, the things that I say, and I'm a lot more mindful about things that I do and things I do, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't even know if that answers the question. Another question is, are you exclusively breastfeeding? So yes, I am. We have started now baby-led weaning, which is where you kind of allow your child to explore different foods and eat on their own times, like solids. But I've been really, really lucky with our like breastfeeding journey because I didn't ever get mastitis. I haven't had to deal with tongue ties or lip ties or latch issues. It's all kind of been like really easy. He feeds quite often, like every 3 hours, sometimes every hour, depending. Now he's teething, so a little more often. During the night, he wakes up quite often to feed. And so I don't know, I'm really enjoying it this time around, and I'm finding it like quite easy. I just feel like it's really natural, and I don't know, I guess I just feel like really blessed that it has been such an easy experience. It wasn't difficult with our first child either, but I did have a bit more pain. I know some women experience quite a bit of pain when they're feeding, but I didn't have any pain this time around. It's been just like really a breeze and actually like really enjoyable and really nice. And we will continue to feed probably just until he decides he wants to wean. I'm not sure what that exactly is going to look like at this point in time, but yeah, no end in sight at the moment. Another question is, how long did it take the whole family to adjust to the new baby? It took a while. Not in terms of us like accepting the new baby and stuff like that. Obviously that was actually instant for all of us, but just with trying to get a routine and juggle like 2 kids, it was quite difficult. And with our first child, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this happens to a lot of people. I mean, every single person I've spoken to who has more than one child has said that they went through a bit of a rocky period at about 2-3 months after having the baby, where the older sibling had a bit of, like there is a bit of jealousy issues and stuff like that. So we did actually go through a bit of a rocky phase. It lasted about 2 weeks, which I was in tears like a lot. It was really, really hard for me. But it passed, and now my 2 kids get along so well. There's hardly ever, I mean, obviously kids will be kids and accidents happen, and there is still a bit of like, I want mummy, but I can't have mummy right now because, you know, the other sibling has mummy. But like actually at this point in time, at 6 months, I would say we've all really adjusted well. It took a while. 3-4 months was difficult. 5 months started to get better. Now by 6 months, it's like we all just have such a good routine, and I feel like we have a really good relationship, all of us together as a family unit. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Yeah. How did you give yourself time to recover while looking after the baba? I feel like after my first birth, I kind of just like hopped up. I didn't have any tearing, and I was just like, why do people say this is so hard? Like I had so much energy and I felt like so good, but also I didn't have tearing and I didn't have as much pain, and I didn't have another child. Now with 2, when it's the second one, it is a little bit more difficult to have time to relax, time to heal, like downtime, I guess, because you have another child to take care of and you can't just lay in bed for hours at a time because your other child needs you. And so I wasn't really able to get a lot of time. My husband was awesome. our son was born in Australia, and he wasn't working, you know, because of the whole situation around the world and stuff. So he was home, and he did a lot, like, with our daughter. And for that, I'm like super grateful, because I was able to have that support at home. And she went to kindy 4 days a week at that point. So there was only 1 day a week where she was home, which was actually really lovely. And I got a bit of time to relax, and I think it was only possible because he was staying home. Do you know what I mean? Like, if my husband was working all day, it would have looked completely different. I wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to not, you know, have to take my child to school in the morning and then come back like straight after being postpartum. Like, I can imagine that that would be really, really difficult. I know, like, where, especially when like both parents are working and the other parent like cannot take the old children or child to school, like, you have to do that, even if you're like, I don't know, a week postpartum, if you don't have family to help out. I mean, luckily my mom was there and my dad was there, and so often my mom actually did get our child from school, which was really nice, our daughter, and for that I'm super grateful, because it just meant that we could be at home a bit more, and I didn't have to stress about getting out of the house. For me, it was really hard to walk. I felt like the stitches were like always pulling, and it was really painful. It felt like there was, I don't know, like a piece of glass stuck there, and it was constantly like cutting a little bit. It wasn't obviously glass, but it kind of like felt like that. And so walking was like really hard for a while and very uncomfortable. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. Wow, that was long. Sorry about that. I think this is the last question now. Oh, no, it's not the last question. Yes, it is the last question. The last question is, when does your period return after the baby? I think I had mine at 8 months, but it was different. Well, I haven't got mine back yet, if you want to know that. TMI, sorry. With our first child, I got it at about 18 months, and it was really sore. Like, it was worse than ever before. Like, I was like man down, it felt like sometimes. And so I don't really know what it's going to be like this time. I don't know when it usually comes back. Maybe you can let us know in the comments below for people to see, or this person to come and have a look and see, because I'm not really sure. I think it's different for everyone. I think it's like each body is different, obviously. I've heard of people that get it after like 6 weeks postpartum, which I'm so thankful that's not me, because I wouldn't want to have to deal with that on top of everything else that you're dealing with. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when you're supposed to get it back. I would assume you'd want to get it back within the first like 2 years, because I don't know, I feel like that would be a long time not to have it. I don't know. I don't really know about that one, sorry. But yeah, maybe you guys can shed some light down in the comments below for this person to go and have a look. That is all the questions that I had, but I wanted to just add a little bit extra onto the postpartum update, because I did forget a couple of things in my last video that I did. And one of the points was that I actually had really bad hair loss after giving birth, like for a long time, like a couple of months. Like every time I kind of went like this, there would just be like hair, like just stringing out and coming out. And like every time I brushed my hair, there was obviously loads of hair coming out. I don't really know if my hair has thinned now, but I feel like the hair loss has stopped, luckily. And so obviously now when I go like this, you can see that there is no hair coming out. So for that, I'm grateful. But I have heard that that is actually a thing that women go through, is you can lose quite a lot of hair. And for some people, it's really difficult, especially if you already have like quite thin hair. I don't know, my hair's quite thin. It can, yeah, not be very nice to have to lose hair. Another thing that I didn't really touch on is, I touched a little bit on my last video. If you haven't seen that, you can go watch it. I'll leave the description below, or tag here, whatever that thing's called, is just like how emotional you feel. Like sometimes you just feel like you don't know the emotions that you're feeling. Like you have so many things going on inside and so many emotions, and you can't put names to them. I did mention previously that I had a lot of intrusive thoughts, but you can go watch that video if you want to know about that. But for me, it was just crazy to see how many emotions I had. Like I could wake up in the morning feeling so brilliant and motivated, and then an hour later, like be in tears about something, and then feel like really down, but then get like really excited and happy, and then cry happy tears because I saw my kids. And I just felt like I was going crazy sometimes. I was like, what is happening? Like, why am I feeling like this? So that can sometimes make you feel like you're going a bit crazy, like when you have so many emotions. But that at 6 months now has gotten way better. I feel like my emotions have really stabled a lot better now. Like I feel like I can take control of situations and the way I'm feeling way better now at 6 months. Like I feel like I'm becoming my old self again, where I'm not run by these emotions going through my head all the time. So that feels really good, just to, I don't know, I just feel good now at 6 months. Like I feel a lot more normal. My mind feels good. I still obviously get emotional about stuff. Like I think that's human, but I feel sane, if that makes sense. I feel sane. Another thing I went through was like a lack of creativity. I don't think anyone really talks about this very often, but because I do make YouTube videos and stuff, and it's a creative thing to do, I just felt like I noticed it a lot more maybe. I just had no motivation to be creative. Like I would sit there and maybe an idea would come during the day, and then I'd sit there to do something, like create something, and I'd be like, there's nothing, like there's no creativity. Or I'd have this great idea, but then I just couldn't formulate it. I couldn't formulate any creativity. I felt like there was just a lack of substance in me. Does that even make any sense? I don't know. I just felt flat, like really flat. I also had a point where I just wanted to kind of like withdraw. Like I didn't really want to see people because I just felt like having a conversation was too much effort. Like I didn't want to have to talk about stuff. And now at 6 months, I don't feel like that anymore. Like I feel like I want to meet up with people. I want to go out for coffee. I want to meet you for a play date, and I want to talk about stuff, and I want to know how you are and what's going on in your life. And I'm happy that zest almost for life has come back, and I can feel my creativity with that also coming back. So I don't think I've ever heard anyone really talk about that, but maybe that's just a me thing, not a postpartum thing. But I did definitely experience that. Birth is such a huge thing. Like you change so much. I just feel like I'm a completely different person now than what I was even a year ago. Like I'm just completely changed. And I'm so thankful to God for giving me the space to grow and allowing me to be the mother that I want to be to my kids. Obviously there is no perfect parent, and I know that I'm not a perfect parent either, but I just feel like at this point at 6 months, I'm feeling really good. And I feel like, yeah, I'm doing much better than I have been previously. And for that, I'm really, really grateful. I think I'm going to end this video here. If you have any things that you've noticed postpartum, do let us know down below. It's always really interesting to see what other people are going through. Maybe also reassuring for other people watching this video to know that they're not alone going through things. If I didn't talk about it on this video, maybe. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you do feel like subscribing, please go do that and give us a thumbs up. If not, that's also okay. I do hope to see you in another video though. For now, I'm going to love and leave you and hope that you have a beautiful day. Bye!